Hey everyone, and welcome back to my completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS. And when we last left off, we witnessed Sanik getting murdered before he could tell us how to get into Spellhold. And now the trail leads us to Lady Galvena's Festhall, where Sanik's wife Claire is being held up. And of course our hope is that Claire can have some information for us. Here we have kind of a hidden stash with a wand of paralyzation in it. So yeah, we're going to get to investigating Lady Galvena's place in a second after a little bit of exploration and after getting rid of this stealthy pirate attempting to backstab us. And I think we're going to have to just wait him out and let him go through both of his potions of invisibility before we can get to him. Yeah, this should be his last one. And I like how this guy is completely unfazed by what's going on right in front of him. You can actually kill all of these drunken sailors without any negative consequences, but I'm not going to do that. Anyway, we're going to eventually, of course, explore the entirety of the island, but some locations for now can wait. Like the shop here, for example, we're going to visit a little bit later. There's also a Temple of Umberlee on the island. And if you remember from Baldur's Gate 1, what we do with Temples of Umberlee, well, this one is going to be no different. But we can get this house kind of out of the way already. This is Caius Home, and it's involved in a quest later on, but we can already disarm this trap and retrieve the rogue stone from here. The other containers just have random goodies, and we need to rearrange some of our stuff. So 5 charges on that wand of paralyzation. Here we're going to be able to witness another fight between 2 pirates. These ones are just going to arg at each other for a while. But anyway, their names are Andar and Olben, and Andar is actually an interesting name because one of the gems in the game is called the Andar gem, an orange looking one, and that we've probably had a lot of, and we've sold a lot of them already, but I'm not sure if I ever pointed that out, that also one of the pirates in the game is named like that. But anyway, since we talked about the Temple of Umberlee already, let's just pay them a brief visit. The bitch queen brooks no insolence. There's actually quite a few items here that one might want to buy. She basically has kind of a standard selection with potions and scrolls. Also has another Wand of the Heavens that we don't need, and yet another one of these girdles of bluntness that improve our armor class against crushing attacks. And this is going to be the 3rd one for us. And although the likelihood of us ever equipping all 3 of them on our party members at the same time is pretty slim, I'm going to get it because, like, I don't know how to call it. It's not an OCD and it's not a hoarding mentality, but whenever I see an item with a potential of being useful, I just have to get it. So anyway, we're going to let her live for now because we're going to be back here after some adventuring, and we might have need of her clerical services, and probably then we're going to buy some of her scrolls for future use, and we're going to see about the potions, which ones we need, if any, and then we're going to kill her. Also, we can talk with Callahan. He's going to assure us that the transportation for Genia and Aeson is covered. So anyway, here's the Festhall, and before we talk with these guys, we're going to just go inside. And there are basically 3 ways of getting inside. First, you can go like guns blazing and just fight your way through. The second one that we can see from this conversation option here, we could use that medallion that we obtained from Cremi to insinuate ourselves as a newly hired employee here. And the 3rd one is actually going in as a customer, using the services of the Courtesans outside. But here we're going to basically do kind of a combination of 2 of them. Here he has a key, and he can open this passage for you if you bluff your way into him thinking that you're an employee, or if you kill him and take the key, you can open this passage, but you don't actually need it because you can just use your lockpicks, and I just wanted that little bit of experience, and I'm not going to open the door because he's going to raise an alarm, and I don't want that to happen yet. Right, so here we have the Courtesans, and as you can see, this one does not swing that way, but we could use Edwin or Yoshimo to talk with her, but we're going to talk to the dude with Senashira. And we can ask him about Claire, and he's not really going to tell us anything that we don't already know, but still I want to show this conversation. And actually, since Senashira is charismatic, we don't have to pay him for his info, because normally if you have a less charismatic character, they want like 200 gold, I think, to pay them for the info, because of course they're scared that Lady Galvena is going to discover that they talk too much. But here he's just going to be helpful. And yeah, Claire's boyo was determined to take her away, see? And of course Claire was considered Galvena's property, and we know what happened. So of course, as always, feel free to pause and read everything in detail. But yeah, of course, them being slaves, I guess, and working in this establishment, they're going to be quite happy to just help us out. And yeah, he's going to mention the medallion. All of Miss Galvena's courtesan masters wear them. Courtesan masters. It's basically a pimp medallion that we have in our possession. And he's going to say that Miss Galvena hires new courtesan masters all the time, so bluffing your way in should be quite easy. And yeah, he's going to tell us about Cremi and confirm that the medallion that we have is the right one. And now we're actually going to go inside with him, because there's kind of a cool infiltration quest inside that I want to show, but it's also going to be combined with the guns blazing approach, because we're going to kill everyone anyway after doing that quest. Righto. Follow me then. And also, since we're charismatic, he's going to suggest this. He's going to tell us that Miss Galvena gives us a draught, a potion, that we're supposed to be using on customers with a weighty purse. Put him to sleep, you understand? So, what a nice establishment here. And he's going to suggest that we could actually use the kitchen and convince the cook there to like give the potion to all of the guards here and put them to sleep. Anyway, so we're going to accept the potion. There it is.
Yes, if it must be done.
And you can kind of go in kind of a stealthy way, or just bluffing your way in, because there are going to be some guards that are going to see us. This is the passage outside. This is the one to the room, and this one is the one to the kitchen.
Declare yourself.
Yeah, and actually you can just bluff that we are a new employee. And he's going to see the medallion. I like that conversation, kind of putting him in his place. Anyway, we can enter the kitchen, and if the alarm was already sounded and you had the encounter at the front, they are just going to be scared and run away. So that's why I didn't want to do it back then, but we are going to have some fights. Anyway. Oh, intrigue. The younger cook is going to be quite willing to help, whereas Ellie here is going to be pretty reserved. Make yourself useful and peel the potatoes.
What's your tale?
Alright. So basically we can tell them about Claire. Apparently she's locked up in the dungeon, and no doubt she is being punished as we speak. We can tell her about that potion, but she says that it wouldn't work. I could put it in their ale, but they would not trust you or drink what you give them. But here comes the other helper. And yeah, she's going to explain that yeah, she's very determined here because of what happened in her life. This is something that you would never hear a person say. I'm old and tired. Even if Galvena kills me, I won't be missing much. Yeah, the will to live. Alright, so they're going to prepare some drinks for the guards. They're going to mention Captain Verdes. Whoops, I just wanted to let her pass
Hello there.
to get the follow-up. Alright.
Certainly.
So now she's here already, offering
Clear
them
yourself.
some refreshments. They're going to offer her some fun times. But anyway, she's going to be able to convince them to actually drink. Yeah, so they're asleep now.
Hello there.
And now we have to
What is it?
do the same with the captain.
I trust you have no hostile intentions.
It's high time that my loyal service was recognized. Very well, let's have it. Yeah, she's going to be able to calm him down here. And boom, he drops.
Speak quickly and precisely. Hello there.
Alright, so from the container here, we can get the key that we actually do need to progress. But since I mentioned that we are going to do a little combination of the two approaches, we can actually just kill this scoundrel as well.
What is it? Without hesitation.
And look at the attention to detail. He actually has the mug of ale from which he drank the ale.
Speak.
Although I think from the conversation, actually, it was supposed to, that girl was supposed to take the mug back, or at least that's what he suspected, I guess. But anyway, let's also kill the guards.
Yes, if it must be done.
For the order!
What is it? Will be done.
Rearrange some stuff. Actually, Edwin can get these.
Speak.
Right, and we're going to temporarily go into that room with the front. To dispose of him.
Yes, certainly.
I am as I would have done.
What? Oh, all right. Fleet of foot and all
Let's just
that.
position ourselves correctly.
I'm listening.
I think he's going to be stuck at this conversation option, even though we've been going. Well, I guess he didn't hear the sounds of battle. But anyway, what happens when you just open the door? Once you use your lockpick to open it, and then actually click on it to open the passage, he's going to raise an alarm and call 2 melee guards to him. But anyway,
You will fall.
he's a fighter mage actually. I think level 9 in both levels. I just made him hostile and wanted to, let his pre-buffs kick in.
Speak.
Speak your mind.
So this fight is a little bit easier, I guess, because there are no
Yes.
additional guards appearing.
Certainly.
But anyway, remove magic was pretty unsuccessful because of his low level.
Speak without doubt.
And yeah, he has this key, guild house key, which you don't actually need, of course.
Quickly and precisely.
Alright, so now we can proceed to the dungeon. It's going to be a little prison. Yeah, special sound there for using the
What is
key.
without hesitation.
Right, and here I think we need to position correctly, because there is going to be a mage, and I don't think he should be that big of a deal, but I want Edwin to be able to throw a spell inside, and maybe have some of our other guys kind of prepared to assist.
Speak.
And maybe let's get some mirror images on Senshira and wait a couple of seconds because I want to use remove magic on her. We're not going to unleash her sequencer yet because we have bigger fish to fry still, and we're going to need that sequencer probably.
I take
So anyway, here's Galvena.
to one as low as you.
And as such, a sentence of death has been imposed on you, Claire. Silence. The punishment is severe and immediate. An example shall be made of you, as was made of your husband, Sanik. Galvena, we have a guest. Yeah, so Yoshimo has an interjection. I think this pet mage, as they call him, was actually also mentioned by the courtesans earlier on in some of the conversations. Yeah, people are not property. Free her or face my wrath. How bold. Vadik, what do you make of this? Arrogance is a common trait among the dregs of adventuring. I would say that a lesson in humility is in order. Vadik, begin the lesson. And I think he's level 14. I think he, around that level at least, he has access to level 7 spells, I think. And Galvena is actually very low level. She's like level 7 or something like that. Anyway, let's allow Vadik to have his pre-buffs. Alright, he casts Mantle, so yeah, he has access to level 7 spells. And we're going to throw in a remove magic from Edwin inside. And we're going to have one cast by Sinashira. And we'll see how that goes. Alright, this was already effective, so now we can have our other party members assist. And kill Galvena as well. Boom! Let's just loot them first. Actually, the darts +1 I'm going to leave. I think Edwin should be able to... Whoa! Not even Edwin can identify that armor. Anyway, here's Claire.
Hello there.
And unfortunately, you know, we have to give her the grim news about Sanik. And unfortunately, there is no happy end here. There's only going to be a silver lining in the fact that we will be able to save her and have her sail away from this island. Yeah, so she's going to mention the vessel that was supposed to take both Sanik and her away from here. Yeah, so we're going to go and speak to Captain Golan. And also, when it comes to the name Golan...
Hello there.
Yeah, Captain Golan, is that you? We've been searching all over for you since Sanik was murdered. Anyway, so she's going to tell him that, of course, we saved her. And here... before we continue about his name, actually if you have Edwin here, he's going to demand a reward automatically, but this is only going to be like some meager amount of gold. But normally you can refuse and just you know, ask about the info about how to go, how to gain entrance to Spellhold. But anyway, before we continue with that one, Golan, if you remember from Baldur's Gate 1, there was a person called Golan Vend, who greets you the first time you enter Baragost from the north, and you can actually ask him about the local shops and inns and taverns and whatnot. But anyway, so he's going to... yeah, 22 gold of a reward. He's going to basically tell us that there are 2 ways to go inside Spellhold. Yeah, only 2 kinds of people get in there. Cowled wizards and deviants, people with special conditions of the mind. So we can ask him about both. Apparently there's one representative of the Cowled Wizards here, and he's long since given up their rigid discipline. This place doesn't suit it. His name is Perth the Adept, and he is seemingly free to come and go from Spellhold all he wants. Uses a wardstone to pass the gates, I think. You might convince him to give it up. Yeah, and the Deviants. Well, on the mainland, you would have to cause one heck of a magical disturbance, and if you survive the Cowled Wizard reprisal, you might get sent there. Here on the isle itself, we don't work like that. Don't care about magic. Desharik uses Spellhold for other reasons, dumps his enemies there, sometimes friends too. Other than troublemakers, the asylum also holds mages and others with actual mental instabilities. They can prove quite dangerous and are better locked away. A little too much salt water can taint the mind, and it's not uncommon for someone to lose their grip. Desharik is the one that can order them confined. Prove to be unstable, and Desharik might send you there. The trip would not be gentle, though. His chambers are a good ways west of here. Yeah, and basically here we might yeah, use his what would you call it, commendation or something like that. Yeah, tell the Doorman I sent you, and this is going to allow us entry to Desharik's place. But it's not necessary. You can actually bribe this guy, but you need him to open the door for you, because you can just unlock it, and he doesn't have a key, so if you kill him, there is no way of entering. And I think we're going to do this now, just to... Basically my plan here is I'm going to show both of these ways to go inside Spellhold, but first we're going to go with the way that I'm ultimately not going to, you know, keep in the playthrough, but I want to showcase some of it, at least because it's so significant and it's so different that, yeah, I want to show the Desharik conversation here, and also we want to gain entrance to his home anyway, just to loot it, but
Declare yourself.
let's not get ahead of ourselves. So yeah, we can... yeah, reference was the word I was looking for, I guess. Yeah, we can just tell him that Golan sent us here. He's in good stead. You must impress him here, or paid him well. Anyway, now we can go inside. And we're going to talk to Desharik in a second. First we have some goodies to loot.
Very well.
What is it? Certainly.
I'm waiting. What do you like?
Speed without doubt.
There's, I think, one more trapped container here.
Yes, quickly and precisely.
Very well.
What it without hesitation.
Right, guys. Pay attention to how we're moving.
Speed. This will not take long.
Alright, we're just going to rearrange some stuff. Yeah, bolts +2. We need to have Edwin do that. Yeah, longbow +2, light crossbow +1, just some basic goodies that we're going to sell soon. But anyway, I'm going to quick save here and showcase the conversation with Desharik that can place us into the asylum that way.
If it
What is
must
the
be
meaning
done.
of this intrusion? Who are you?
So yeah, basically you can tell him that of course we must be sent to Spellhold. And he's actually pretty hard to convince. You have to have high charisma, and you have to go a specific route in the dialogue options here to convince him. But also if you have either Yoshimo or Minsk, they are going to kind of take over the conversation if you're unsuccessful in convincing Desharik, and they are going to convince him. Minsk, just by, you know, just by talking, he's going to make a strong impression on Desharik, and you know, convince him to send us to Spellhold, and Yoshimo is going to have an interesting conversation that I'm going to showcase here. Anyway, if we tell him the truth that we just seek a friend and whatnot, he's not going to want to get in trouble with the asylum. And we have to go with this one. Yeah, it's certainly an odd request to go to Spellhold, though not in itself an indication of madness. Yeah, I must be confined. I can feel myself losing my grip on reality. This is pretty funny as well. I know a great deal of people that do not know their arse from a hole in the ground. They function reasonably well. Yeah, we can't level with him and tell him about him. I'm no student of the mind, but perhaps they are just your wishes to become more than you are. You have to go with this one. I'm in a fight for myself, like I must battle my own thoughts. And here Yoshimo is going to chime in. And actually, if we say that no, Yoshimo, I have the charisma to pull it off, you actually are going to be able to convince Desharik, but this is kind of like a very direct message from the game developers. Even Desharik is going to say that, well, if you were a less charismatic person, I would not be convinced, but but you actually did convince me. So I think I'm going to like place a screenshot or something showing you that dialogue option, because here it's more important to show Yoshimo's version. So, okay, Yoshimo. Also, if you are not successful in convincing Desharik, he's going to, you know, start with this. Like, hold a moment. Certainly you would have cause to allow me to go to the asylum. I am, after all, the famous Yoshimo. Yoshimo. So here we have another very suspicious interjection from Yoshimo. And, you know, if you're unfamiliar with the game, this is going to be suspicious, but maybe, you know, you certainly are not going to see the deeper meaning in all of these interjections that Yoshimo has at this part of the game. Only if you've played the game before, on subsequent playthroughs, you can truly appreciate, like, you can already see what's going on, and you can see the, like, the deeper meaning of these interjections. He's like, Yoshimo, well, that is a name that I have heard recently. So you seek entrance to the asylum, do you? Yes, yes I do. It is important that I speak with those inside. Senashira is aiding me. I see. Well then, I suppose I have no further objection to letting you go there. Of course, just to protect myself, I will send you under the guise of madness. Yeah, and here, of course, the dialogue option indicates that, alright, what's going on here, Yoshimo? Like, and he's just going to, no matter what conversation option you choose, he's going to have the same response about some kind of a embarrassing story that he's not going to want to divulge. Alright, so take us now. May the gods have mercy on you when you arrive. I wouldn't wish that place on anyone. Well, anyone I like. Oh, and I'm stumbling over my words already. Actually, I'm going to skip the intro cinematic here. We're going to watch it once we are properly, you know, approaching the area. But anyway, I just wanted to show this conversation here with Lonk the Sane. We are, of course, already basically inmates inside of the prison. And apparently we could proceed to the recreation area. Enjoy your time out. You go back under key when night comes. Yeah, so he's Lonk the Sane. The surname is not my given, but it certainly serves to keep things straight around here. Now frolic as you will. This is recreation time. And yeah, examinations may follow, and you will want to be well rested. And we can actually ask him a couple of questions. Yeah, about other people. Mages mostly driven insane by the energy they tried to unleash, or the energy they were made to unleash once here. Result is the same. Of course, some were a little crazy to begin with. I think you have to be crazy to be a wizard. Too much energy in the head. I think he is a wizard himself, so... Anyway, his job? Taking care of crazies like you, making sure you don't go and hurt yourselves with your deviant powers. And cookies. I make cookies. M1? I think so. Hard to say. There is a girl here that used to answer to that. Don't think she remembers it anymore. Holy... Oh, this does not bode well. She's down the hall. Be careful though, she almost killed 2 other inmates the other day. She's got a vicious streak that is downright scary. So we need to really check up on Emma and see what's going on. But anyway, the quick way to get out of here? Dying. Actually, so far that's been the only way. Unless you have friends high up in the government. Otherwise, get used to the place. Right, inmate Irenicus. How do you know that name? No matter. You'll be seeing him soon enough. He sees everybody. Well, sounds ominous. Anyway, the warden will be soon enough. Or will be by soon enough. Then cookies. Oh, please try to stay away from Wanev. He's very excitable. Still sore about losing his position here. I tell him he shouldn't dwell on it, but he's quite inconsolable. Wanev, yeah, was, well, we're actually going to get to Wanev once we properly approach the place. But anyway, now I'm going to quick load. I just wanted to showcase that. And here, we're just going to get rid of Desharik by the use of force. And he's actually going to be back. Because later on he is involved in a certain quest and conversation. So I guess they're going to resurrect him, although he got chunked, so he should be permanently dead, but, you know, details. Not to Edwin, let's give that to Yoshimo, all the things that we're going to sell. A good potion. Here, and yeah, we're done here. Now we can kill the Doorman. We don't need him anymore. Anyway, I think now is going to be the time to go to the shop and sell some stuff, and also, I think, steal some stuff. There is some reason to actually do some stealing, because he has quite a few nice scrolls. Anyway, first let's just sell all the stuff that we got. Alright, 5,000 gold for that. We're actually going to use our glasses here. Leather armor +3. Wonder what kind of lore this requires. But yeah, because of the +3 enchantment, not that easy. We're going to drop some of these to make some space in Kirinai's inventory, and I think we have some time, yeah, to do a quick stealing session. And I think I'm just going to pre-buff with like 4 potions of Master Thievery. It should be more than enough. And we have a lot of them, but this is not the most important stealing session, but I want to do it anyway. And I think since we're going to have Kirinai buffed up, we're going to also recharge I think one or two wands. And when recharging with stealing, like I think I'm going to recharge this Rod of Resurrection and maybe one of the Cloud Kill wands. But we're going to have to remember that one of our Rods of Resurrection is going to be considered stolen now, so we're only going to be able to sell it to a fence later on to recharge it again. But anyway, let's just quick save just to be sure
Welcome to my humble establishment.
that nothing goes wrong. Yeah, we can sell the 2 to him. Alright, and now let's get to it. So he has some ammo, and I might get a little bit more bullets +2. But anyway, the main thing about him are the scrolls. Yeah, the potions are nothing significant. If you've missed all of the other Find Familiar scrolls, now this is, you know, the point in the main story where you can buy one Find Familiar scroll. Yeah, we're going to get the Protection from Fire scrolls. I think he has multiple lower resistance scrolls, and we're definitely going to get those. Alright, 3 of them. Some more Breach, of course, just to be prepared. An Oracle scroll might come in handy. A Spell Deflection, of course. Maybe even some more contingencies, that we can just use them out of a scroll. Yeah, Chain Lightning and Disintegrate, I'm not sure if we have, but and I'm not sure if Imoen has them, but just for learning purposes we're going to get those. And yeah, these go to Jaheira's. These go to this one. Alright.
The customer is always right.
Yeah, let's see what we have available, dude. I'm not going to get any more of these minor spell deflections. I think we have plenty of those in scroll form. Oh, actually, we can steal some restoration scrolls from this guy, just in case we get, like, level drained. Alright, that disintegrates, and that's basically going to be it. So now we just recharge, or get our recharged wands, and now we should be ready. We have a nice Cloud Kill wand now, and this disintegrate scroll, this goes to Jaheira, and this goes to this ammo belt.
Yes,
Alright, and now we're done.
if it must be done.
And this is going to be it for this episode, but in the next one we're going to properly approach Spellhold and get inside the way I want to, and well, we're going to progress the main story even more. So for now, I thank you for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next episode.